Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Broken Berean. And today I find myself in a what I would call somewhat of an ethical and monetary quandary, a dilemma of sorts, because I want to see the new Big City Greens movie. And the only way to view this movie right now is if you have a Disney Plus subscription. I do have a Hulu subscription. And that's one of the shows that is on Disney Plus that has not been piped over to Hulu. And it is the only show I miss since I canceled my Disney Plus subscription a while back. I canceled it because a lot of it was getting very terrible in the sense that Disney put ideology and politics in front of good storytelling. I checked out on Star Wars after the book of Boba Fett. It was quite obvious that Boba Fett was put together and destroyed by people who didn't really love Boba Fett. I mean, they made him appear weak, and don't get me wrong, I love seeing more about the Sand People of Tatooine and getting more of their backstory, and that was really neat to see on screen. I do believe that's delved deep into in the expanded universe books, but it hasn't been on screen before. And then, yeah, when they came with the brightly colored space Vespas, I knew the series was completely dead. And then with Marvel, the only other major attraction that led me to Disney in the first place was I checked out after Disney's take on Doctor Strange, Multiverse of Madness. I just felt that they did Doctor Strange wrong. I did not like that movie. And the few things I watched after that were not good, with the exception of Werewolf by Night, which I thought was incredible. Now, if they could do more like that, Marvel could win me back. But in my family, the only people that ended up watching Disney Plus were me and my son. My daughter just decided there's nothing that she really liked on Disney Plus anymore. And for me and my son, it was we're watching Gravity Falls, Big City Greens, and classic Simpsons. And that's all we were watching. And I was like, this isn't worth it. So I canceled my subscription, told my kids, hey, watch what you want to watch. We got 3 weeks left, and then subscription's over. And Big City Greens is one of the funniest shows that Disney's ever made. Not the funniest, but it's up there, in my opinion. It's something that I would say is a valid successor to Gravity Falls. And I'm bummed because the only way to get access to that show outside of Disney Plus is purchasing digital copies of it through Amazon. You cannot buy physical media for this series at all. You can for Big City Greens, you can for The Simpsons and other shows. They're releasing Mandalorian on DVD and some of the Star Wars shows, if you feel up to it. Like Mando season 1 and 2, I'll get, but that's where I'll stop. I'm not picking up Obi-Wan. That was bad. And I really want to see the new movie that was released, but I can't do it yet. My son wants to watch it too, and I kind of explained why I'm delaying to see what happens so we can watch the movie together. Because I don't want my subscription to add to the fuel that the Acolyte, from all the clips I've seen, is just abhorrently bad. It feels like hey, we're new to this. It's under our project, and it's going to do what we want, not what the lore says, not what anything. We're going to make it what we want it to be. And we've seen this a lot with Doctor Who. It was a slow decline, and now it's a fast one. And with Star Wars, it seems to be right on par with just going fast and furious into the ground. And Marvel, I mean, really, I don't. Marvel left such a bad taste in my mouth. I never saw Guardians of the Galaxy 3, even though I have friends that say it was incredible. I never watched it. So this is the ethical dilemma. This is the dilemma I have. I want to watch this movie with my son really bad, but I have no way to watch it except through resubscribing to Disney Plus. I have to pay for a month subscription. I know I have a Hulu account, and yes, that means I'm giving money to Disney. I understand that. But Hulu gives me access to much more shows, much more various networks, especially FX, all those shows which are great. You know, they had so much they could do with Marvel. I mean, if you didn't see Legion on FX, you're missing out. It's an incredibly crazy, insane show about one of the most Omega overpowered Omega level mutants from the comics, and it's wonderful. I enjoyed every aspect of that show, and I really did think it was incredible. And I feel like it was because it was pushed on FX and nowhere else. It lost a major section of audience that didn't know it existed. So this is the dilemma we're all going to eventually face at some point in time. I don't want to give money to Disney because they're destroying the things I loved as a child growing up and watching, but also how many streaming services am I going to pay for a month? I spent a good amount of time when I was making this Disney decision to cancel of what services I was going to keep. And it came down to I will keep 3. I will keep Netflix, I will keep Hulu, and I will keep Max. Now, now that summer hit and my kids are home more, I decided to cancel Max and spin back up my Crunchyroll subscription because we all love anime. We all have time to sit down and enjoy it during the summer. Unlike the school year, they don't have access to it as much. So I was like, this is a worthwhile switch, which means mm, I, I'm tempted to even spin that back up. I don't want to because of just, I don't want to pay so much money a month and end up having a cable level streaming bill again. But that's what we're looking at because I want to watch House of the Dragon season 2, which the first one was phenomenal. I mean, I think it's very wise that Amazon did not release Rings of Power at the same time like they did last time because it House of the Dragon blew them out of the water in every aspect. And I really do like that show. So this is the streaming dilemma that we're facing today that more and more are going to face. And we're seeing these bundles now. I've got it up here on screen. You know, you can get the Hulu Disney Plus bundle, and it's like, this sounds good. $9.99. That's with ads. It's $19.99 if you don't want ads. Add $10 for the ad-free portion. And they've been doing that Hulu, Disney Plus, ESPN Plus bundle for a long time. And the reason they're doing that is ESPN Plus is a money pit for Disney. It just is. No one's subscribing to it, and it's just losing money hand over fist. But then we've got new bundles that they're partnering with and coming out with that we're going to see with different companies. These groups that are going to get together. Hey, let's bundle our streaming services together, and we're getting cable 2.0. And it sounds good, but I'm not going. I'm not going to do it. I made a video about this a while back, and I can't remember what I titled it, but there is a lot that we have to consider as consumers, and that is, what is the price we're willing to pay for our entertainment? We have to now be selective of our entertainment if we don't want to go back to the days where we're paying $100 a month for all this access to content and we're watching very little of it. And that's just where we're at. And I'm tempted to even kill Netflix for a while just to, save some money so I can buy the digital versions of Big City Green for a few months. Take that down for a few months. I can purchase the seasons one by one, which at $30 a pop for a season and not even a physical copy kind of rubs me the wrong way. So this is the streaming dilemma that we're hitting because I don't want to subscribe now to see this movie even though it's released and then factor in this new subscription. Hey, we got a new subscriber, a resubscriber, and it's because of Acolyte. Nope. It's because of Big City Greens. And I'm just not going to do it. I've got to wait till the show's over completely because I don't want them to validate bad Star Wars shows and writings that are continually destroying a beautiful lore that we've had for decades. All because these new people in charge think they know better. And it's not saying that 100% of it's bad, but we're not even getting to 50% good. So that's the streaming dilemma that we see today. That's what we're going to see more and more of as things come along. I don't want to give my money for a month just to watch a movie. I want to buy a copy of it, but Disney's very, very, very reluctant to release stuff on physical media nowadays. So I'm just gonna have to live with it, and I'm not. I don't like it, but that's where we are. I have to subscribe to see this movie, and it is a Disney original. I get that, and there's things like that on Netflix, on Apple TV, and other things. If you want to see it, you have to subscribe. Well, I'm not going to be one of those FOMO people. I may miss out on a show. I may miss out on a movie. And people may say, oh, you've got to see it. And I'll say, sure. What time do you want me to come over? Because I'm not going to subscribe to it just for one thing anymore. I just can't justify spending money hand over fist for streaming content that does not appeal to me. This is just one of those things that we're going to have to look at continuously. And I'm trying to be very, very calm and reserved right now, but the more I think about it, the more I become steaming mad about it. Like if they release that Big City Greens movie on Blu-ray and they said, okay, fine, we'll release it on a physical media for you, but it's going to be $45. I'd rather spend the $45 than have the continued revenue sent monthly to Disney Plus, which I will overspend on just to see a movie a few times. And if I ever want to see it again, I have to resubscribe. I'm just not going to do that anymore. I can't do that. So, as consumers, we all have to listen to this and say, what do we really want? Is this show worth it? Things coming out of FX have always been spectacular because I do think for the last however many years that Disney has bought Fox, they just forgot about FX. And we got incredible shows from FX. And they continue to do so. And the problem is some of those shows are great, but they don't get the popularity. They don't get shown to the people. Not many get access to it, so they don't continue on. And I mean, Dirk Gently and the Dirk Gently's Holistic Detective Agency. That is a hilarious show. They came out on FX. It ran for 2 seasons. It could have gone longer, but it just didn't have the numbers. And it's a book, and it's a series based on the books by Douglas Adams. Forgot about that. It's funny. It's got oh, I am an idiot. But it's got the actor from Lord of the Rings that plays Frodo. Why can't I remember his name? I can see his face. I know his name. But it's just, hey, when you're working 12 hours a day and coming home and trying to make videos and consume stuff and play Stardew with your son and try to do all this stuff and fit everything in one day, sometimes the brain just doesn't fire. So, Elijah Woods, thank you. Gosh, my brain is just slowly just killing me here. It's a great series, but it was on FX, so it didn't get pushed by. It just kind of disappeared and didn't get the ending it deserved. And that's another thing we're going to have to realize, that our choices will result in good shows maybe not continuing on. And Netflix does this in spades. Uh, like one of my favorite shows that they released that only made a season was October Faction. It was incredible. It was good, but it's like, oh, we're getting a lot of show that didn't get a second season. It should have. Should definitely got a second season. But here we are, and this is just what we're gonna have to live with. This is our state that we have to navigate now. And me personally, I'm wrestling with it because I want to enjoy the continuation of a show that me and my son have bonded over. Is this worth the price? I think with that justification, I might be able to do it. But I can't let it be something that just sits, I pay month after month after month after month for, just for a show. That's stupidity. And I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to do these bundles. Oh, you save more money. Great, yeah. Hey, I had cable. I had like 150 something channels. I watched 4. I had 4 channels I switched between. What did I do with the other 146? Never looked at them once. This is where we're at now. I'm not going to go back to cable. I'm not going to pay the price for cable. If it means I end up just picking, this month it's this streaming service, next month it's this streaming service, so be it. That's what may come down to. I don't know. This is our dilemma because we want to see what we want to see, but we don't want to pay to promote more shows that are just garbage. So that's why I am probably going to not subscribe to Disney Plus until July, just so me and my son can watch a single movie. We miss that show deeply because it's funny, it's humorous, it's so family friendly. But Big City Greens, if Disney released it on DVD, Blu-ray, heck, I still have VCRs. I'll take it on VHS if they'll put it out versus paying month to month just to have access to it. I'm just tired of it. I'm tired of spending all this money. But this is just where we're at. And this is just one of the things we're just going to have to deal with when it comes to streaming in the future. We're going to have to start navigating these bundles, and we're just going to have to look at it. And I don't know what the landscape is going to look like at the end of the year, but I guarantee you it's going to be a lot different than what we see now. These corporations bundling up and doing streaming bundles like Peacock and Paramount and who knows, like MGM Plus all together. Who knows what we're going to get? We're probably going to get multiple bundles like this from companies partnering again, like they did with the Hulu model, but on their own. It's just streaming has become much, much, much more difficult to navigate. And it comes down to being selective and being wise in your choices. Do not just throw your money out the window. Be wise in how you spend money. Don't be a fool. If you've got thoughts, you've got impressions, you've got ideas, and no, I know what some of those people are thinking because I have friends that say the same thing too. I will not take alternative routes to view this material. And I'm going to leave it at that. I will do it the correct way and the proper way to watch these materials, these movies, these shows. I will do it the proper way. And you should too. So until next time, my friends, as always, I love you all, and there's nothing you can do about it.